Eyes.
Welcome back to episode 2. Still living at home. I'm going to talk a little bit about the renting crisis. So, living at home is normal. A lot of people are living at home. Living with your family is being normalized in society now because who wants to pay $3,000 for rent per month? Nobody on a single income can afford that based on the bare minimum wage that we have right now. You can't live off that. You can't save enough money for that. And rent a place. It's impossible. You literally have to stay home, save your money, and figure that out. Because you just can't jump into buying a place or renting a place or getting where you want to go. Maybe with a roommate or there's a lot that goes into that. So staying at home with your family, if that's an option for you, you should consider it. Because if the situation is really bad, and you have to go out into the real world, it is very difficult because rent is very expensive. You can't afford food and rent because the rent and the food, everything's so expensive. So we're going to get into this topic today. I am an expert in this, and I can give you my advice on this one because I do live at home, and I own this room. Yeah. Okay, number 1 is living at home is normalized. It is. Let's normalize it. Tell your friends, tell people, tell everyone you know, tell your family, tell everybody. Like, living at home is cool. Because being out there paying $3,000 for rent is not cool. It really isn't. Only if you making over I'd be fine for making over $8,000 per month, but that's not really realistic. Yeah, so living at home is definitely, it comes with pros, it comes with cons. I think the pro is you don't have to pay so much money for rent if you are renting, or sometimes you don't have to pay rent at all. There's food in the house. You share the cleaning responsibilities. You don't have to run a household. You're just free to do what you want to do, come and go as you please. You have your own space. You manage that. And then the con is you don't have... Number 1 is you don't have your own space. And I think you don't have your own space. You don't have your own washroom. You share everything. People could take your things. You have to manage your own space. Keep everything in your room because, someone might take your stuff, you never know. I think at the end of the day, living at home is, if you can't do it, is a good option. Because out there is very tough, to save money and also pay for rent. And you're by yourself is tough. If you're with a significant other and you guys are both making good money, and if he's making a little bit more than you and you're making a little bit less, or you're making more than him and then he's making a little less, you guys can make it work, But if you're a single individual who wants to move out on their own, you have to be making bank. You have to have money saved because for the last month's rent, it costs you to $4,000 to $6,000. So it's a lot of money, depending on what your rent is gonna be. So living at home is okay. Save your money as much as you can. Maybe you could buy. That should be the goal, but it's not the reality. At the same time, this is a very personal decision. Make a decision that you feel comfortable with, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be house poor. You want to be thriving and living the life. Number 2 is moving out is not an option. For a lot of people, it isn't, because I'm like, taking out a lease that is more money than you make in a month is crazy, and you be bleeding money. They have to furnish the place, and furnishing the place is cost so much money. It's not cheap to furnish a place. It costs so much money, and I'm like, it is so expensive to furnish your place. It's not a cheap process to furnish, and moving out is just difficult. It costs so much money, the moving trucks, everything, you know. And if you do have the option to move out, you should take it, because it is an experience to live on your own. It is. It's to have your own space, to design it the way you want to have the things that you want around you that is a privilege. Is it a privilege or a luxury? No, it's not a privilege. It's a luxury. That's a luxury today. It's a luxury to have your own place. That is status symbol. Like, I live on my own. Like, you live on your own. That is status. That's status. That's high status to me. So it's a lot that goes into that. Number 3 is living a teenage lifestyle is fine. I feel like I'm an adult, but I do live a teenage lifestyle. You still live at home. You still have to listen to your parents' rules because this is their place. You don't have a lot of autonomy and control of what's going on because it's not your place. I do have opinions, but I keep it to myself because it's not my place at the end of the day. I just micromanage this space, my room, because it's been my room since I was 12. So I customized it to look like a more adult room, something that is Pinterest worthy. The teenage lifestyle is okay for right now. It's not going to be the rest of my life. It's just a blimp on my radar. I'm trying to figure things out, trying to get to that saving point, and maybe one day if I have that account, I can make that decision and be like, hey, maybe it's time for me to get my own place. Maybe it's time for me to reach out and experience living on my own for the first time. But right now, the teenage lifestyle, trying to figure things out, trying to do things on my own, is where I'm at right now. And it's not a bad place to be. I am an adult in some aspects of my life. In some aspects, I'm just not that kind of adult. And I'm okay with that. It's a balancing act. And at the end of the day, I get to keep on my youth a little longer and still figure things out. I am still young enough, almost 30, but right now I'm just figuring things out, and I'm learning and processing, and I'm like, I have 10 years of adult experience, and I'm using that while letting go of my youth and trying to figure out what my adult life will look like. A lot that goes into it. Number 4, the rent crisis is real. It is. Like, there's not a lot of rentals. Luxury rentals are very expensive. And there's no rent cap. And getting a place is just feels impossible because, like, it's hard to get approved. Even if you're, like, a first-time renter, because you have to show them, hey, I'm responsible, I can pay this rent every month to the landlord. It is real. This has been all over the news. If you live in Canada, like, that was like the top political thing everyone was talking about was the renting, how we need to create more homes. It is real. It's happening. There's a lot more people that are living here, and there's not a lot of homes being built that are affordable. Luxury condos are like sitting vacant because people can't afford them, and outside investors are buying them and they're jacking up the price to this amount of money, and people just can't afford it and don't want a condo slab. That layout is terrible. So number 5 is stay at home and save money. That is a process, because when you stay at home, you definitely can save money on rent. Your rent's not that high. It wouldn't be that high. Sometimes your parents charge you, some parents don't charge you, you can find a way to help but not pay rent. There's always ways. You can clean the house up, you can cook dinner, there's so many things you can do to stay home. Saving money is a process. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not the best at saving money, but I love doing research, and doing research is something I value. On the website, I have Rich Financial BFF. Is it Rich Financial BFF? Yes, that's it. You could go to that. I have so many blog posts about our financial research that I have done. I've used Pinterest, I've used ChatGPT to really get good content for you guys. So look into that. That will definitely help you out. Not an expert. I wouldn't give advice because it's not me, but like I do research and I post the research there and it's all accurate. So give that a look. I'll have that link below. And next will be, when you live at home, you get to spend more time with your family. So you're strengthening your relationship. You're building. I would say intimate. I would say more close. You know, you guys are on top of each other technically when you live at home. It depends how big your space is, but like we're still like there. But everybody has their own space. But we're still. We still share a kitchen in the living room. So there's heads, the bathroom. There's a lot. But you get to have nights with your family every night. You get to, not every night, you could go out. But like spend time, you get to spend time with your family. You get to do like family game nights or stuff like that. Or like watch a movie with your family. Or cook, like do Taco Tuesdays, something like that. Like connect, you know. You can strengthen a relationship, you know. That's like the best part about it. You can do that. You could really invest in that relationship and also build your future at the same time. Number 5. Oh, we're done number 5. Number 7 is romanticize your life at home. I think that keeps me sane. I like to use the Lulu in my life. So romanticize your life, you know. Make those acidic coffees. Go for walks in your neighborhood. Decorate your room to make it feel more romantic. So you can romanticize it, you know. There's so many ways you can romanticize yourself, you know. Take a nice bath. You know, watch movies at home, work on your hobbies at home. Like, there's so many ways you can romanticize your life because it keeps you sane and it's also escapism. And you need a little escapism when you feel trapped. And a little escapism, not thinking, turn your brain off is so important. So find ways to like romanticize your life at home. There are so many things you can do. And we have so many ideas on the website, so check that out. But romanticize your life. Give your life that... You know, you could be that rich socialite. You could decorate your room in luxury, even if you don't have the space. There are always ways to modify and create alternative ways. Use Pinterest. Pinterest is your best friend. Write down what you want, and you can create it with your imagination. And that's what I did in my room. This is a Pinterest theme. Created it with Dollarama. And now I have a nice bedroom. Okay, so we're going to talk about the renting crisis a little bit. What's going on in society about it. So we're just going to do a little summary about this. Let's get into this right now. So, the renting crisis / housing and why renting just feels out of touch. Number 1, if you live in Canada, if you live in Toronto especially, Scarborough, around all this area, let's get into this. There's no rent cap. So your landlord can jack up the price tomorrow. There was this girl, her rent was like $3,000, went up to $9,000. Because she dared to talk to her landlord. I'm like, that's crazy. Why is it $9,000 for her apartment? And it's only a $2,000 apartment. Yeah, so rent cap is not there, and you don't want to be trapped in a lease, and you're losing money because you can't pay it because your landlord increased the price. That is the scariest part about renting. Your landlord could increase your rent, and you have all these things. You have furniture, you have your clothes, you have your kitchenette stuff. Like, it's not easy to pick up and move, and to find a new place. It's not an easy process because it takes time. It might take you months to find something that you actually like, and you don't want to be. My biggest fear would personally be like, I got my place and my landlord jacked up the price and I had to leave because I couldn't afford it. Yeah, we don't have rent cap. Government has not put it in, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So renting kind of feels aspirational and inspiring at this point, but we gotta hope the government does something about it. Number 2 is landlords can do whatever they want. I feel like if you go online, there's bad landlords out there. It's just reality. Some of them are just greedy. They don't want to repair the place. They just want the money. They want to stack you on top of these. They want to make as much money as possible. I totally get that. It is a business at the end of the day. They're in for profit. I understand that, but a lot of people have horror stories, and it's kind of getting worse. And I feel it for landlords. Like, I'm 50-50 with landlords. I understand landlords trying to make money. 50% of me is like, you can't get screwed over as a landlord. We're talking about that next. But yeah, landlords, some of them are nightmares. Some of them are big corporations that just are not doing the bare minimum to keep the place up. And it depends where you live. A lot of people have been living in buildings for over 20 years. Long time. Or there's old acts in place that guarantee them a nice place. And some landlords are pushing people out so they could renovate, make more money on top of the money they're having. That is a big issue right now. What the landlords doing, they're taking places, renting, fixing them up, and then jacking up the prices to make more money. They want people out so they can jack them up. Or there's a lot, so many stories and going on. So I'm gonna do it. Number 3. Number 3 is squatters' rights. That is people like me who are renting. There are rights, and landlords do get screwed over by squatter rights. That's why I have sympathy for landlords. I'm not here for landlords personally. I've only the good ones I'm here for, but like, there are some good landlords that do get screwed over, and squatter rights comes in. Squatter rights is people can take over your house or your condo or the apartment you live in, and they can stay there because squatter rights, they could literally just sit there in your place, not pay rent, and collect money. You go to, what do you call it? There was like Toronto, I forgot what's it called. Sorry, it's getting me right now. There's an organization where you go to complain about your claiming your tenants, like suing them, getting them out. I forgot what it's called. I'll write it down if I remember. It's not coming to me right now. So it takes time. It might take you 2 years to get to the courts. So this person's sitting in your home for 2 years, maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, maybe 8. Like, it takes a long time. The process is not an easy process. So technically, somebody can sit in your house for years. Just sit in your house for years, not paying anything, until the sheriff comes to get them out. And that takes time. It's not an easy process, and some people don't even get their money back. Some landlords don't get their money back. Some do. You have to take them to court. The court system's backed up. It takes long to get to the dockets. It's not an easy process. Squatter rights are real. That's why I feel for landlords. And that this is for like self landlords. The big corporations, landlords, I wish they'd do better. Because I'm like, there's real people living in these houses and they need repairs, help immediately. Do better. Let's just say that. So, rent crisis is real. Squatter rights is crazy. But know the law, and that's it at the end of the day. That's the end of episode